Hello, welcome back. I'm Dr. Lori Williams. Today, I want to talk to you about the very good chance that while you're trying to heal yourself, you're actually trying to heal a version of you that isn't actually who you are. So, let me explain. When we are first born, we come into this world and we are a pure soul. We are 100% authentically who we are. We end up going through life, and life teaches us that we're too loud, or that we are responsible for other people's feelings, or that we have to be good. My favorite one is children should be seen and not heard. That creates a lot of, of unhealthy patterns for sure. We end up learning not to need too much, not to be too much, and to make sure that other people around us are happy. It's like it becomes our job to make others happy. So, without even realizing that this is happening, we end up having our nervous system programmed based on these ideals. Our nervous system is trying to keep us safe. So it wants to keep us safe, loved, accepted, all those things. So these rules that we end up telling ourselves, completely subconsciously, that they become the foundation of the survival identity that we end up assuming is us for x amount of years until you get to an age and a stage in your life where you are consciously recognizing the survival self and starting to dismantle it. So the problem with these these healing loops that we get into is that we're not actually healing ourselves. We're not actually healing who we truly are, because the truth of it is our authentic self does not need to be healed. It's beneath all of this survival, all these survival aspects of who we are. So unfortunately, what happens for people that are on this modern day healing journey or spiritual journey is they're not actually healing who they truly are. They are trying to basically like tighten up and perfect their survival self. So rather than recognizing the pattern behind being a people pleaser and stripping that away, which would uncover more of our authentic self, we end up trying to become a better people pleaser. This is what trying to fix all of these, like, we're fixing the wrong identity. We're trying to fix the survival identity rather than who we truly are. So if you're an overthinker, rather than recognizing the pattern that's behind overthinking, we become a silent overthinker. We're still an overthinker, but we're just not talking about it anymore. We're not telling people about it anymore. And I have so many people, so many clients that come to me and like, hey, Laura, like I've been healing myself for X amount of years. I've been on this journey. And they're very, very consciously aware of what those patterns are. They know why they're doing these things. They know why they're overthinking. They know what the pattern is. They just haven't been able to strip it away. And when they come to me, they're like, why can I not let this go? Why is this pattern still continuing in my life? And the truth of it is being aware of the pattern is not enough to be able to change it. We need to change it in real time. As it's happening, as it's like coming to the front of our reaction or response to whatever the situation is, it's in that moment that we have to change it. And that's where the hard part comes in, because this part of us that we are trying to fix, this broken part of us, we see this as being broken, um, this broken part of us that we think that we need to fix is not, it's not the part of us that we're consciously fronting, if that makes sense. So what I mean by that is that your survival identity will take the forefront of any situation before your conscious awareness does, before your mind can even like click into what's going on, before you can make a heart-centered response. That the first thing to come through is going to be that nervous system programming. And because this has been what has been running us for x amount of years, from childhood to now, we believe that this personality, this identity is who we truly are, when nothing can be further than the truth. It's just the part of us that's continuing, that we learned in childhood, that is continuing to keep us safe and lovable and acceptable, all those kinds of things. So until you stop healing, and I know that sounds counterproductive, but when I say when you stop healing, I mean like the modern day healing journey. When you stop that and you take a huge step back and realize that you don't have to make yourself a better people pleaser in order to heal yourself. That's not the goal. You don't have to make yourself that silent overthinker. You don't have to continue to shrink in rooms in order to be loved and accepted. That's not the point of it. You're not trying to polish the identity, this false identity, the survival identity. The part of true healing and coming back to the authentic version of who you are is recognizing these patterns that are attached to this identity and stopping them in real time and being able to make a conscious choice of, okay, from now on, this is who I am. This is the life that I'm building. This is the person that I want to be, and acting from that place, not from the survival self. And so many times my clients will also tell me too that, like they recognized in a situation, let's say, they got in an argument with their spouse, and they recognized in the situation where their one of their patterns showed up. So after the fact, they were able to recognize where they, take accountability for their actions and where their patterns were still coming to the forefront. And even with that awareness, they still kept coming to the forefront. And the truth of it is, and I would tell my clients this all day long, you have to stop yourself in that moment. You cannot plan to change your patterns. Your patterns are so they're such they're the first automatic part of you that's going to show up. So you've got to change that yourself in that moment. And it takes practice and it takes time. But to continue to try to improve on this false identity, I guarantee you, you will never heal. You will continue and always find stuff that is perceived as being broken and things that you need to fix. I've had clients that have been on this journey for 15 plus years. I myself was on it for over 10, and it's just a loop that you will never get off of because it's not the point. The point isn't to make the survival self better able to survive. It's to be able to strip the survival part of you away so that the authentic version of you, the true version of you, is what remains. You don't have to try to find your authentic self or build up who you truly are. That person, that version of you is already there. It always has been. It's just buried under all of these rules and regulations and stories that you've learned in childhood and then continue to tell yourself up until this point. That's simply all it is. If you need help or any extra support or guidance through your own pattern recognition and release, please feel free to reach out to me. I will leave a link for a free consultation and we can get started as soon as you're ready. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you back here next time.